We have some breaking news here today. We uploaded a video, I guess last night, this morning about Bryan Kohberger arriving in Idaho, and a few videos back. I think in the arrest video of the arresting of Bryan Kohberger. I said that when the arrest was made, I said that the affidavit, the probable cause affidavit, would be released. Well, now it has been released. And oh my goodness gracious. There are some shocking there's a lot of evidence now being released. But there are a lot of shocking pieces of evidence that link Bryan Kohberger to this crime. Now, a lot of people have been asking, okay, well, how do you know it's him? Well, again, I said it, and as other commenters have said it, so thank you very much for all of you who are commenting. They're going to prove it. The prosecution has a huge case, and right now, they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that it's him. Once they can prove that in their case, the defense is going to have to defend the indefensible, right? They're going to have to say, this is not really him, or self-defense, or whatever they go with. I'd love to see the self-defense argument. I would love to see it. Yeah, they were laying in their beds and you came in. How's that self-defense? Okay. Maybe because, you're a burglar. So we're going to use Court TV, and they're going to go over this, and they have some legal scholars who are going to talk and say what's up. Let's go ahead and get to this.
I'm going to start with you, Sonny, and I'm going to start with one of the most shocking revelations in this probable cause affidavit, which I will tell you is more detailed than I would have imagined. It's about 19 pages. First up, we had a lot of questions about the two surviving roommates that were on the ground floor in that house. According to the probable cause affidavit, I'm going to read it for everybody. DM, who is one of the surviving victims, she said, DM stated she opened her door for the third time after she heard the crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. DM described the figure as 5'10" or taller, male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. The male walked past DM as she stood in a frozen shock phase. The male walked towards the back sliding glass door. DM locked herself in her room after seeing the male. DM did not state that she recognized the male. This leads investigators to believe that the murderer left the scene. Now, later on in this probable cause affidavit, when they were able to determine that it might have been Kohberger, they looked at his license plate and noted the bushy eyebrows.
I just gotta state here, holy hell, oh my god. So at first I was like, wait, she opened the front door? No, she opened her ground floor room door, because I guess I gotta say it. Since it's a ground floor room, they usually have a door to get to the rest of the house. She opened it and heard someone crying. Oh, hell. Because I was thinking in the beginning of this case, if you go back to those videos, how did they not hear anything? Anything? People are being stabbed to death. She heard crying. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I feel so bad. In Spanish, we say pobrecita. Wow. That's it. And then clad, black, black clothing, mask, and he just walked right past her. So my thought is he was targeting his people. Because if he saw another female there, DM, whoever that is, and we're going to find out when she testifies in court, we're going to find out who that is. If he didn't kill her, that means he didn't mean to kill the people on the ground floor. He knew who slept in the ground floor, and he knew who slept in the upper floors. He knew it. So this is quite incredible. And the bushy eyebrows and the athletically built. And he even had the audacity to cover the victim's mouth. And oh my God, what an asshole.
The idea that someone in this house saw him is unbelievable. What's your reaction, Sonny?
It's absolutely unbelievable. I'm just printing out the affidavit right now and trying to go through it, right before we went on the air. This is one of the most detailed affidavits that I have ever seen. And this is the reason why they got the guy. There's nothing to suggest that he was not present. They have the DNA, they have everything that they need. But more importantly, it's the eyewitness, the details and the level of detail that law enforcement has provided in this affidavit. There's no reason and there's no way that a judge would not have weighed in and said this is absolutely necessary.
Exactly. All that detail, it was online too. I looked at that affidavit. I didn't want to read it like out loud here. It is so detailed. I'm like, whoa, that's incredible. They have all this evidence. I don't know how a jury's not going to be swayed to go, not guilty. They probably will. You never know with a jury. But hey, holy hell, they did it with Kyle, what's his name? The guy who shot those two people at the parade. I forgot what his name is right now. But again, this is incredible that they have all this insurmountable evidence and they were able to get this guy all based on this. Yeah, if I was a judge looking at all this evidence, I'd probably sign the warrant too.
So, a few things to note. Again, throughout this discussion, he is innocent until proven guilty. But
yes, and also the last thing I'll say, wow, the eyewitness account, that's gonna be Do you see this person in the courtroom today? Unless they change, I don't think you're gonna change the bushy eyebrows unless you do something to them. He's gonna be built the same way unless he loses some kind of weight and does something. But do you see the person who did this in the courtroom today? Yes. Can you point him out? Him. Oh.
But what this lays out is the probable cause by which they felt necessary to arrest him. What is so eerie is to hear this account of the roommates.
Absolutely.
They heard people saying in the upstairs room to the effect of, there's someone here. They heard one of the victims say that. They heard a voice say, it's okay, I'm going to help you.
Whoa. Now, if I get home and I'm laying down and I'm in my own home and I don't need anything, why would that signify that I need help? Him saying, it's okay, I'm here to help you. That is absolutely scary. And the fact that they knew someone was there. Yeah, he broke into the house. He's getting charged with burglary for that reason.
Possibly from the killer. Now, Joseph, I'm going to go to you because this is something that we had suspected about the murder weapon. Now, I will tell you, the murder weapon has not been recovered.
Now, this is big.
This is what we have. I also later noticed what appeared to be a tan leather knife sheath laying on the bed next to Mogan's right side, Madison Mogan, one of the victims, when viewed from the door. The sheath was later processed and had K-Bar, USMC, and the United States Marine Corps Eagle Globe and Anchor insignia stamped on the outside of it. The Idaho State Lab later located a single source of male DNA, the suspect profile, left on the bottom snap of the knife sheath. Now, of course, that's important, Joseph, because we had suspected for a while that, and we actually had Phil Waters on our Sidebar podcast who said this could be a K-Bar military-style knife. Now, just to reiterate this, later on in the affidavit.
So, he went in there and used a military-style Marine Corps knife because he knew, I'm going to be stabbing a bunch of times. I'm going to have to kill 4 people. And I need a strong, unbreakable knife. And that's what he used, a military-style knife. Now, he left that sheet on Maddie Hogan's right side. What does that tell you, actually? What that tells you is that he was not careful. What that tells you is that he just did the crime and did not, pay attention to the fact that he's leaving evidence behind, which is exactly what I said before. Incredible.
They did a DNA test.
Oops,
and what they
let's
did
see what
is
they
on
found
December
out.
27th, 2022, Pennsylvania agents recovered the trash from the Kohberger family residence located in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. That evidence was sent to the Idaho State Lab for testing. The next day, the Idaho State Lab reported that a DNA profile obtained from the trash and the DNA profile obtained from the sheath identified a male as not being excluded as the biological father of suspect profile. At least 99.9998% of the male population would be expected to be excluded from the possibility of being the suspect's biological father.
Keyword, not being excluded, meaning being excluded of not being the biological father. So basically, yeah, it's Bryan Kohberger. That is huge.
Joseph, what do we make of that?
DNA evidence doesn't lie. DNA evidence does not lie.
You're going head to head with numbers.
That's right.
Numbers always win in the end.
Yeah,
all speculation, supposition, all of that stuff is out the window.
That's
when
right.
you have these specific scientific tiebacks, and as you had mentioned, we had suspected a sheath for a while. We heard about military style knife. We heard somebody throw out a term, Rambo knife. We didn't know what the genesis of those terms were or where it was coming from. And we did, in fact, hear the term K-bar. We've talked about this for a while, and it is a specific knife. The thing about these types of knives, hunting or military style knives, most of the time they come, you purchase these things with a sheath so that you can put it on your belt, all those sorts of things. The fact that it's adjacent, this DNA is recovered adjacent to the snap on it, which holds it in place, is significant. This goes back to a manufacturer, and it also, this DNA ties back to him. It is incredible evidence. I didn't think we were going to have this much.
So
yeah, I mean, I thought, oh my God, if they can't find the weapon, they're screwed. I didn't know it comes with a sheath. The fact that it comes with that, and the fact that he left that behind, that is incredible. And the fact that the DNA, I think it was 99.998 or 98%, ties back to him. This is more evidence than I think any of us would have thought the authorities would have found. Wow, now we know why it took this long.
So I'm going to read portions of this affidavit because it literally came down 5-10 minutes ago. People have not heard it, so I'm going to read portions of it. This is very interesting. This is something that online sleuths were thinking once he was arrested. Did he make a Reddit post? Well, this is what we know based on the probable cause affidavit. Based on information provided on the WSU website, Washington State University, Kohberger is currently a PhD student in criminology at Washington State University. Pursuant to records provided by a member of the interview panel for Pullman Police Department, we learned that Kohberger's past education included graduate degrees in psychology and cloud-based forensics. These records also showed Kohberger wrote an essay when he applied for an internship with the Pullman Police Department in the fall of 2022. He actually applied for an internship with the police department. Kohberger wrote in his essay that he had interest in assisting rural law enforcement agencies with how to better collect and analyze technological data in public safety operations. Kohberger also posted a Reddit survey, which can be found on an open-source internet search. The survey asked for participants to provide information to, quote, understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime.
Why would you be asking that question? Now, okay, Jason, they could do research, they could do that. Why would you do that if you are Bryan freaking Kohberger? Holy hell. Oh my God.
There's been a lot of speculation about why someone like him would have done that.
And he studied psychology and he studied all these things. And he wants to know the emotions because, and this is my theory, a lot of you have been asking me what I think. The reason he's asking for all these opinions and all these survey questions is, hey, how should I act when I commit this crime? That's my theory. He wants to know how he should act.
This is something that came early on. I want to go back to the discussion of the initial impressions from the surviving roommates, because I think that's really key. Again, we talked about the K-bar style knife. As part of the investigation, numerous interviews were conducted by Moscow Police Department officers. They interviewed the two surviving roommates. And this is what we, and again, what they start off the probable cause affidavit, basically going through what we know already, the timeline of events about where Madison was, where Kaylee was, where Zana was, where Ethan was. But where it really gets interesting is the timeline of this. This is a lot later than we initially anticipated. So to give everybody an idea here, I'm going to pull this up. We actually thought that the murders might have happened earlier. According to police, they believe the murders happened between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. I think that is a bit later than we originally said. I'm going to read more from the affidavit.
Like an hour.
DM, again, one of the roommates who survived, who was on the ground floor, stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the southeast side of the second floor. DM stated she was awoken at approximately 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Kaylee Gonsalves, playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedrooms, which was located on the 3rd floor. A short time later, DM said that she heard who she thought was Gonsalves say something to the effect of, "There's someone here." A review of records obtained from a forensic download of Kernodle's phone showed this could have also been Kernodle, as her cellular phone indicated she was likely awake and using the TikTok app at approximately 4:12 a.m. DM stated she looked out of her bedroom but did not see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. DM stated she opened her door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Kernodle's room. DM then said that she heard a male voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you."
Die? I'm going to kill you is what he was saying. I want to cry. I want to cry. The fact that she heard crying. Oh, I'm just going to play this.
At approximately 4:17 a.m., a security camera located at 112 King Road, a residence immediately to the northwest of 1122 King Road, picked up distorted audio of what sounded like voices or a whimper, followed by a loud thud. A dog can also be heard barking numerous times starting at 4:17 a.m. The security camera is less than 50 feet from the west wall of Kernodle's bedroom. By the way, I'm going to continue, but you can see more of the evidence that we didn't know what was happening behind the scenes.
Wow.
This is a more detailed timeline than any of us could have imagined. DM stated she opened her door for the 3rd time. She heard crying and saw a figure clad in black. And I went through that already about seeing this. Now, they go on to say that the combination of DM's statements to law enforcement, reviews of forensic downloads of records from BF, and DM's phone, and video of a suspect video as described below leads investigators to believe that the homicides occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. Now, this is also important.
So the dog was barking. There was whimpering and crying. And the dog is trying to say, "Hey, what the hell, dude?" And he's trying to get someone's attention. Someone is being murdered. This is... Oh, holy. So now she was sleeping on the 2nd floor. Oh, that explains a lot. And she heard crying from Xana Coronado. That is really, really frightening and insane. It's so sad, man. Like forget the views. It's just like, it's so sad. Like, now that this is released, I'm sorry. I should not be this emotional. But it's very sad.
Important. This is about latent shoe prints. I'm going to read that part. During the processing of the crime scene, investigators found a latent shoe print. This was located during the 2nd processing of the crime scene by the ISP forensic team by first using a presumptive blood test and then amino black. This is a protein strand that detects the presence of cellular material. The detected shoe print showed a diamond-shaped pattern similar to the pattern of a Vans-type shoe sole. This was just outside the door of DM's bedroom, located on the 2nd floor. This is consistent with DM's statement regarding the suspect's path of travel. As part of the investigation, an extensive search, commonly referred to in law enforcement as a video canvass, was conducted in the area of the King Road residence. This video canvass was to obtain any footage from the early morning hours of November 13, 2022 in the area of the King Road residence and surrounding neighborhoods in an effort to locate the suspect or suspect vehicles traveling to or leaving from the King Road residence.
Now, before I go on, the fact that they found a latent shoe print. What did I say? I think in 1 or 2 videos ago. One of the things that they're going to use is tracking. I have family in a search and rescue group, and they do tracking. And what does that mean? They're tracking for footprints. They're trying to see where someone went or where someone goes, usually used when people go missing. They used tracking, essentially.
This video canvas resulted in the collection of numerous surveillance videos in the area from both residential and business addresses. I have reviewed the numerous videos that were collected and have had conversations with other officers, and they go on to say that. A review of camera footage indicated, and this is where that white Hyundai Elantra comes into play. A review of camera footage indicated that a white sedan, hereafter suspect vehicle 1, was observed traveling westbound in the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive in Moscow at approximately 3:26 a.m. and westbound on Steiner Avenue at Idaho State Highway 95 in Moscow at approximately 3:28 a.m. On this video, it appeared suspect vehicle 1 was not displaying a front license plate. At this point, they didn't know it was the vehicle that we now know, the white Hyundai Elantra. This is how they first were able to identify it. A review of footage from multiple videos obtained from the King Road neighborhood showed multiple sightings of suspect vehicle 1 starting at 3:29 a.m. and ending at 4:20 a.m. Remember the timeline of when they think these murders occurred. These sightings show suspect vehicle 1 makes an initial 3 passes by the 1122 King Road residence and then leave via Walenta Drive. Based off of my experience as a patrol officer, this is a residential neighborhood with a very limited number of vehicles that travel in the area during the early morning hours. Upon review of the video, there are only a few cars that enter and exit this area during this time frame.
Oh, that's how they identified him. And there are only a few cars. So it's a residential area. It's quiet. It is a small town. It's a college town. A lot of college kids do have cars. Most of them don't. Many of them don't. As my experience as a college student can say and verify that. And he's traveling at night and is probably the only car or one of the only cars traveling at night. Wow. He was absolutely, and he's supposed to be a criminology person and wants to help law enforcement. This proves that he was academically smart, but horribly stupid in other ways. What? Anyway.
Again, this is also important because remember, he is charged with first-degree murder. There is a level of premeditation and planning to this. Keep this in mind as we hear all of this.
That's right. He was driving to the house. He was passing. He was waiting for everyone to be home. He picked a certain time. He drove that certain car. He left at a certain time. Yeah, exactly.
Suspect vehicle 1 can be seen entering the area a 4th time at approximately 4:04 a.m. It can be seen driving eastbound on King Road, stopping and turning around in front of 500 Queen Road, number 52, and then driving back westbound on King Road. When suspect vehicle 1 is in front of the King Road residence, it appeared to unsuccessfully attempt to park or turn around in the road. The vehicle then continued to the intersection of Queen Road and King Road, where it can be seen completing a 3-point turn and then driving eastbound again down Queen Road. Suspect vehicle 1 is next seen departing the area of the King Road residence at approximately 4:20 a.m. at a high rate of speed. Suspect vehicle 1 is next observed traveling southbound on Walenta Drive. Based on my knowledge of the area and review of camera footage in the neighborhood, that does not show suspect vehicle 1 during that time frame. I believe that suspect vehicle 1 likely exited the neighborhood at Palouse River Drive and Conestoga Drive. Palouse River Drive is at the southern edge of Moscow and proceeds into Whitman County, Washington. Eventually, the road leads to Pullman, Washington. Pullman, Washington is approximately 10 miles from Moscow, Idaho. Both Pullman and Moscow are small college towns, and people commonly travel back and forth between them. We talked about this before.
At a high rate of speed, I gotta get out of here. Holy shit, I just committed 4 murders. That's what he's thinking. That is exactly what he's thinking. I need to get away. I need to get the hell out of here. Let's go. I gotta go. Son of a gun didn't realize there were surveillance cameras everywhere tracking his movements. If I'm a prosecutor, I'm eating lunch like, this sandwich is so good. I've got all this evidence. This is really bad for Bryan Kohberger. Extremely bad. He's a narcissist. I'm going to say it now. He's a narcissist and a psycho.
When he was ultimately apprehended, the connection, the geographical distance between his university and where these murders occurred.
So he's 10 miles away when it comes to the home, right? Because the home's about 1.8 miles away or whatever it is, 1 mile away. So he was about 10 miles away from Pullman, Washington, and he literally left his home in Washington, his university home, to go commit these murders. There's premeditation involved here.
I'm going to continue on. Law enforcement officers provided video footage of suspect vehicle 1 to forensic examiners with the FBI that regularly utilizes surveillance footage to identify the year, make, and model of these unknown vehicles. The forensics examiner, and they go into the forensics examiner's background and experience. After reviewing the numerous observations of suspect vehicle 1, the forensic examiner initially believed that suspect vehicle 1 was a 2011-2013 Hyundai Elantra, but upon further review, he indicated it could also be a 2011-2016 Hyundai Elantra. As a result, investigators have been reviewing information on persons in possession of a vehicle of this type.
I'm going to end it here, but this is so much evidence. And I mean, regardless of how much evidence it is, it makes me cry. It makes me sad. It makes me emotional. And I'm sorry that I got emotional. I just want to apologize to you guys. I should not be getting emotional, but this man committed this horrific crime, this horrible, awful crime. And we never will get to see Ethan, Xana, Maddie, or Kaylee Gonçalves. See, I was right the first time. I don't think I'm going to get it right. We're never going to get to see them get married, walk down the aisle, have kids, birthdays, get a new job, graduate, be financially well off, or buy a house, or travel, or we're never going to see them blossom ever. And I can only imagine being the parents now, finding out all of this evidence. It's just so I don't even know how to go on. All I will say is nobody called the cops. Nobody called the cops. Were they scared? I could understand if you're scared, but they have a lot of chat lines now. I want to know that. Did anyone call the cops? Did anybody call the cops? So, yeah, very big key pieces of evidence, and really, really bad look for Bryan Kohberger. And the whole thing of, oh, maybe, these frat kids are doing it. Ha ha. Big distraction. Really failed tactics. Awfully stupid. It's just, wow. It's incredible. Really is. He's a narcissist. And the fact that he was studying psychology, the fact that he was trying to get the emotions, how do people act? What should I do? What should I not do? This is premeditation all the way, and I guarantee you that's going to be an evidence. This guy needs to be killed. This guy needs to be in the death chamber, in the whatever chambers it is, in the electric chair. You know what? I think if I wish this was possible, I think he should go the way that Xana, Ethan, Maddie, and Kaylee had to go. Let him be stabbed with a K-bar knife. Let him sit. And you know what? If you recover the weapon, use that against him. I'm not advocating for violence, but at least give him the death penalty. So, wow, what incredible evidence that was found, and I'm just so sad about it.